Hey guys, YouTubeWare100 here, and now continuing my Elm Street Friday the 13th reviews. Now here's my review of the next movie, which is Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Yeah, I actually really did like this movie a lot. I really did like this movie pretty much just about as much as I did the third movie. I mean, I just really enjoyed the third and the fourth movie just about the same as the other one. And you know, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it. Just I like it just as much as I do the third. Yeah, I do really think this one is pretty good. I mean, yeah, some the deaths in this movie are pretty memorable. In it, yeah, and yeah, yeah, this movie was released in August of 1988, which was really close to the Friday the 13th Part 7. Friday the 13th Part 7 was released in May of 1988. So, yeah, they were just a few months apart from each other, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, 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 like I said, I really do like this movie. I give this movie about 3.5 stars out of 4. Or, uh, yeah, this continues the story from the third movie. Yeah, Kincaid, Joey, and Kristen are back in the movie, and yeah, there are some other new characters as well, which I'll talk about in this review. So yeah, let me just get right into it. Alright, so yeah, the movie starts off with Kristen and like having being in a dream that they're in Freddy's old house, yeah, and yeah. Kincaid, Joey, and Kristen have been released from the mental institution they were in the third movie, and yeah, now they're living normal lives and they're in high school. Well, yeah, yeah, like I said, yeah, she is thinking that Freddy may not be dead, and yeah, she then brings Kincaid and Joey into the dream with her in Freddy's house, and yeah, Kristen tells Kincaid and Joey that Freddy may not be dead, and then yeah, Joey and Kincaid are telling her that the boiler is cold and empty and Freddy isn't coming back, and then yeah, Kincaid's dog Jason, yeah, he pops up from the boiler and bites Kristen. And then when they all wake up, and then yeah, Kincaid sees that Jason's mouth has like blood, and yeah, Kristen's arm has a bite mark. Or yeah, but Kincaid and Joey are still not believing that Freddy may be coming back. Yeah, and then yeah, it shows the next day that when they show up at school, yeah, and yeah, we see some of Kristen's new friends. Yeah, we see the main protagonist in this movie, Alice, and yeah, and then there's Sheila and Debbie, and Alice's brother Rick. Yeah, and yeah, have they all have like things, certain things about them that make them known. Yeah, I mean Alice is like a daydreamer, and she's like always daydreaming. Yeah, Sheila, she like has asthma, and Debbie has a fear of bugs. And yeah, Alice's brother Rick, he's a martial artist. Yeah. And then yeah, Rick has a friend, he has like a best friend named Dan. And yeah, Alice has a crush on him, and then she has like a daydream of him just coming up to her and introducing herself and liking her. But yeah, it was just a daydream and it didn't really happen. Yeah. And then yeah, later that night, Kincaid, he falls asleep again. And then he wakes up in the junkyard where Freddy was killed in the third movie. Yeah. And then, yeah, And then Kincaid sees that his dog, uh, inadvertently, he like it splits apart the ground where Freddy was buried underneath. And then yeah, Freddy ends up being resurrected. And then yeah, Freddy is starting to stalk Kincaid throughout the yard, the junkyard, yeah. And then Kincaid was trying to call Kristen to try to tell her that Freddy is back, but then Freddy eventually he caught Kincaid and then killed him by stabbing him in the chest. And right before Kincaid died, he told Freddy that he'll see him in hell. And then Freddy told Kincaid to tell them that Freddy sent him. Yeah, and then, yeah, we then saw Kincaid really die. Not in his dream, but in real life, yeah. And then, like, right after that, it showed Joey. And then, yeah, he was on his waterbed. And then, yeah, he saw that a nude supermodel was, like, in the is in his bed. Yeah, because yeah, we found out in part 3 that like Joey kind of like had a weakness for nude women. And so yeah, he like tried to find, and then yeah, the mm, supermodel just like disappeared in the bed, and then Freddy emerged and yeah, pulled Joey into the bed and then just stabbed him. And yeah, Joey tried to call to Kristen for help, but yeah, Freddy ended up killing him. And yeah, and then the next morning, Joey's mother found him dead in the waterbed. And then yeah, Kristen arrived at school and then she saw that Kincaid and Joey didn't show up for school. And then yeah, she ends up like just fainting. Then she has a dream that she's in the nurse's office, and yeah, and it turns out that Freddy was the nurse. And then yeah, just right before before Freddy could kill Kristen, then the real nurse then woke her up, and yeah, Kristen just got saved by the nurse to wake up right there, yeah. And then yeah, later on, like yeah, it showed like Alice working at a diner or something, and then yeah, Dan and some of his friends and came in, and then yeah, she yeah, Alice tried to go to talk to Dan, but then Debbie just like told Alice that her shift was over and that she'll take care of it, yeah. So yeah, Alice didn't get a chance to talk to Dan right there, yeah. And then Rick brought in Kristen, and yeah, Rick was just telling Alice that like Kristen was just distraught about what happened with Kincaid and Joey. Yeah, because Kristen knew what happened, that Freddy killed them, yeah. And then yeah, Alice went with Rick to take Kristen home. And then yeah, and then Kristen's mom knew that just wanted to get Kristen to go to sleep because she knew that she'd been staying awake. And then yeah, she slipped a sleeping pill into like a glass of a drink that Kristen was having, and then yeah, Kristen realized that she was just given a sleeping pill. And yeah, Kristen then just told her mom that she killed her, she murdered her, because yeah, she knew that she was gonna get killed by Freddy. And then yeah, Chris, Kristen like just then went upstairs to her room, then she eventually just fell asleep. Yeah, yeah. And then then Kristen was dreaming that she was at a beach and she was having a conversation with a little girl that was making a sandcastle. Then Freddy came from beneath the sand, and then yeah, he just Kristen tried to get away from Freddy, but then she ended up just sinking down into quicksand. And then yeah, Freddy then just like pushed Kristen under the quicksand and with his foot. And then yeah, Kristen just like fell into Freddy's old house where he used to kidnap the children and kill them, yeah. And then Kristen then just brought Alice into the dream with her before Freddy could kill her, and then then Freddy eventually then just threw Kristen right into the boiler where she got burned alive right in front of of Alice, and then right before Kristen died, she passed on the dream powers that she had to Alice, which yeah, those kind of just like unintentionally passed through Freddy before it got to Alice, yeah. And then once Alice woke up, she got Rick, and they went to Kristen's house, and then they found her burning up, just burning in her room. And then the next day, Alice was in class with like Sheila. Well, yeah. And then yeah, like I said earlier, Sheila was the one that had the asthma problem. And then yeah, while they were in class taking an exam, Alice ended up falling asleep. Even yeah, she yeah, and then in her dream, Freddy ended up being the teacher of the class, and then Freddy walked up to Sheila, and yeah, he just like sucked her dry of like her like all her body fluids and life and stuff, and yeah, that ended up just killing her in the dream. And then yeah, and then in the what really happened and was pretty much it looked like Sheila was just having an asthma attack and she died. Yeah, and then yeah, Debbie was just thinking like, how could Sheila, if she was just 17, have fatal asthma like that? And then Alice then realized that she accidentally brought Sheila into her dream, just like Kristen did with her. And then yeah, Alice then was just yeah, she just like became distraught herself. Yeah, and then Rick is starting to believe what Alice is saying. But yeah, then the next day during well, he falls asleep, and then yeah, he is like having a martial arts dream, and then yeah, he ends up fighting Freddy, but yeah, he couldn't see Freddy. Freddy was just like invisible, and then yeah, Rick tried to fight off Freddy, but then yeah, then saw Freddy's razor glove, and then yeah, it just went through Rick, killing him. Yeah. And then yeah, Alice is just starting to learn about each and every death. And yeah, she is starting to have the aspects of all the personalities and abilities and the powers of collecting Freddy's souls. And then yeah, later that night, as Alice, Dan, and Debbie are planning an attack, Alice's dad, like, she doesn't want Alice to leave the house, and yeah, yeah, she just ends up sleeping in a room for a while. I don't, yeah. And then, and then, yeah, Alice, like, as she's dreaming, Debbie's, like, working out, and then, and then, and yeah, Alice knows that Freddy is stalking Debbie, and then, yeah, Alice then wakes up, and then, yeah, she just runs off to Dan, and then, yeah, they get in Dan's truck, and then they're, like, trying to drive to Debbie's house, and then, and then right when they got to Debbie's house, as Alice ran out of the truck and tried to run into the house, it just like played all over again of Alice and Dan just getting into the truck and driving to Debbie's house. Yeah, and they knew that it was a dream, and then Freddy was intentionally doing that to keep them from getting to Debbie. And then yeah, Freddy then eventually, as Debbie was bench pressing, he like pushed the pushed the weight down onto Debbie some more. Like he said, no pain, no gain. And then eventually, Debbie's arms ripped from the elbows, and then yeah, they just fell off. And then yeah, Debbie had like roach legs coming out of her arms, and then yeah, and then unbeknownst to her, she was actually in a roach motel, and then yeah, she just fell down into the roach goo or whatever it is, and then she ended up turning into a roach herself. And yeah, Freddy looked into the roach motel, and then yeah, he eventually then just squeezed and crushed it and killed Debbie. Yeah, and then And yeah, Alice then saw Freddy in the road, and then yeah, she tried to run him down with the truck, but then in reality, she hit a tree, and yeah, that ended up injuring Dan, and yeah, he ended up being taken to the emergency room, and then Alice just told Dan just to not let any of the doctors put him to sleep, but yeah, as Dan was being went into surgery, he ended up being put under, yeah, and then yeah, in his dream, and Freddy ended up being the surgeon, and then yeah, Alice like went back to her house before that, and then yeah, she like got some of Rick's martial arts stuff, and then yeah, Freddy and Dan just ended up being on the other side of the mirror, and she just jumped through it, and yeah, she and Dan were trying to get away from Freddy, but then they eventually just ended up falling into a church, and yeah, Dan then started to bleed from right in the middle of his chest, and then yeah, the doctors saw that in reality, and yeah, they just like pulled him out of it, and Dan then just like faded out of the dream, and he woke up. And then Alice just ended up being by herself, and then yeah, she tried to fight Freddy with the dream powers that Kristen gave to her, but yeah, Freddy, he just outmatches her because of his immortality. And then yeah, Alice then finally remembered the Dream Master, and then some of the children popped up and started to sing, and then Alice started to do it too, and then yeah, she then just showed Freddy a mirror, and then yeah, his reflection just turned right back at him. And then yeah, all the souls that Freddy had were just like revolting, and then they were just tearing him apart. And then yeah, Freddy then just disappeared, and yeah, his clothes just fell lifelessly to the floor. And then yeah, and then on another day, as they're like at a wishing fountain, as Dan makes his dream, Alice is looking down into the water, and then she like sees Freddy's reflection, but it fades away just as Dan's coin goes into the water, and then yeah, then they just like walk off together, and yeah, that's how the movie ended. So yeah, like I said, 3.5 stars out of 4. Really like this one a lot. I like it just about as much as I did the third movie. So yeah, definitely a step up from like the just like many people don't like it, but yeah, I think it's alright from the second movie. Yeah, and definitely a step up from the last Friday the 13th movie I saw. So yeah, seems like the Elm Street movies actually do. Yeah, the Elm Street movies actually are, I think, a lot more enjoyable than some of the Friday the 13th movies that I've been seeing lately. So yeah, alright, so that's it for my review of Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.